And we're rolling. Okay, everybody, welcome to Paranormal Vantage Point. We were finally back. I took a little hiatus from it, and I'm glad we're back. And to go ahead and introduce, we have a new co-host. We got a new co-host named Brooke. So Brooke's going to be a part of the podcast now, for now on, and I'm glad she's on board. And since people don't, which I've known Brooke for a long time, and we do tours together at the historic Hannah Mansion. So we decided to go ahead, like bring her on as a co-host, and so we can do the podcast together and stuff like that. I thought it'd be a great addition and stuff like that. Okay, so do you want to maybe ask each other questions, or how do you want to do this? Because this is going to be like your introduction here. Everybody knows who the hell I am.
Let's just wing it, man.
Let's wing it.
I can introduce myself. My name's Brooke. I've been a paranormal investigator for the past, oh God, bud, how long? 8 years.
Oh, okay.
I started out with Indie Lost Souls Paranormal. We have a Facebook page. You guys are more than
Were you
welcome
guys
to follow.
based out of Indianapolis or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of it. So we have some people from Portland, Indiana, and we have like Judy. She's actually from Muncie.
Okay, yeah, I remember her.
Um, yeah, Judy's one of my bestest friends.
Yeah, real sweet gal.
Yeah.
I haven't
So,
seen her in a long time. I haven't seen her in a long time though.
well, you'll see her paranormal day. So Judy actually has 2 books, and I bought one of the books off of her when she came to the Hannah House, and I was volunteering one day, cleaning up, and she bought a ticket for one of the public overnights that we had,
Mm-hmm.
and which, you know,
I
we had that.
remember. I was there. I was there.
So,
I remember.
so and then, me and Judy have also done an investigation at the Hannah House. We
Mm-hmm.
got really close that night, and we did an investigation at the Hannah House. Got double booked, and
Yeah, I remember.
yeah,
That's the first and only time that's ever happened.
yeah. Well, and I'm kind of glad it happened because it made me a little bit closer. Like it made us a little
Yeah.
bit closer. It made us a lot cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it got me a little bit closer to Scott. So
Right.
I was okay with that. I was kind of glad that happened. But Judy, she's wrote a couple books.
Now, is her books available like on Amazon or anything, or?
Yeah. So her first book that she wrote, it is not actually under her name. It's under like an alias, I guess,
Okay.
like a ghostwriter.
Right. Okay.
It's Dutchy Malloy. Sorry, there was a big truck that just drove by. Dutchy Malloy, and it's called Forever Haunted. I picked
Forever
up this
Haunted.
book, Forever Haunted,
What is it
and
about?
it's about all of her experiences.
So it's more like a kind of like, yeah, kind of like a, like where people write books about their experiences and stuff like that.
Well,
And
it's so both of her books are about her experiences, but this first book is about her experiences as a child and growing up.
oh,
And
okay,
when I first read this book, I was, I immediately, I read it within not even 2 days. I couldn't put it
okay, right.
down. And, you know, because I had an experience with, and growing up, I was always like, ghosts aren't real, monsters aren't real,
So you grew up. So you grew up like not did was like your family.
I,
Were your
I,
family believers or skeptics or what?
so it wasn't necessarily that they were skeptics or anything, but I grew up in a religious household.
Right.
I went to a
So
Catholic.
basically, kind of like the belief of there's no such thing as ghosts. You either go up or down.
Right. I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, we watch scary movies and stuff like that. My mom would be like, "Oh, it's not real," It's
Right.
it's just fake. It's just, movies, and I was like,
Right.
okay. So when I had my first experience, I was 8 or 9 years old, almost 9 years old.
Okay.
And I seen an apparition, like full blown apparition, and it
Inside her
was
house, or
inside my house, and it was in the middle. Like I was coming from outside. I
oh,
was
so
playing
you
out.
were wide awake?
Oh, wide awake, wide
Okay.
awake. It was during the day, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
and that's a funny thing because everybody's like, oh, ghost hunting at night, like everything pops
Well,
out,
that's what I'm saying, because a lot of people, when you hear the stories, like when they're kids or whatever, it's, well, nighttime I was going to bed, or I was,
right.
you know what I'm
No,
saying?
it was in broad daylight. It was
Right.
right after school, so probably like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like
Oh, okay.
it wasn't late at all. I was outside playing. They had like this toy drive or whatever at school or something like that, and I won a toy, and I was playing with it outside, and I came back inside. Excuse me, and I seen a man standing in the middle of. I lived in Fountain Square at the time. I've lived in Fountain Square for 15 years,
Okay.
and I moved to
Yeah,
Beach Grove.
I'm pretty familiar with Fountain Square.
Yeah, so
Great
I've
neighborhood.
I've been from the Nap my whole life. Like
Right.
um so I lived there. We lived in a double. Me and my mom lived on one side, and my mama and papa lived on the other side.
Okay.
And I came in on me and my mom's side, and from playing outside, and I
Right.
seen a man like in the middle, like I was crossing the middle room, and there's like a big like open pathway like leading to the living room from the
Mm-hmm.
middle room. And I seen a man. Sorry, there's June bugs out here so bad. But I seen a man standing in the middle of the room, and he had a white polo button down and dark jeans or slacks, or they looked almost like jeans.
So he looked pretty, like up to date.
Oh yeah, and I mean he had white hair. I mean, and I honestly at first I thought someone broke in, but the more like I felt, because I was like frozen, and the more I
Right.
focused on him, I seen like a lot of his features. And
Okay.
as scared as I was, I didn't feel like he was gonna hurt me or
Right.
anything. Like, I didn't feel threatened, and he smiled at me, like, but it was like a smirk, like, so I don't. I don't know, but it still scared it still scared me. Like, I mean, I'm a kid,
Right. Yeah.
that I don't I'm not supposed to believe in that stuff. That stuff's not real. But
Right.
what I was seeing was definitely a ghost. So I ran and got my mom, and to this day, and if she wasn't inside, I would go and grab her and ask her, like, hey, come out and tell them what you seen that day, your
Right.
reaction that day. Because that day she was like, you definitely seen something. She's like, I've never
So
seen
she believed your
anything.
story.
Huh?
She believed your story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But there's more to the
Okay.
story. There's more to the story.
Okay.
So we ended up going through picture albums because she used to have totes. I mean, she still
Right.
has totes of pictures from, when her and my dad were married. I mean, she's still, close to, my uncle, and, stuff
Right.
like that. So, and she's still cool with my dad too. Like, and she's
Okay.
cool with my mom. Like, they have a good relationship and everything.
Yeah.
But my papa passed away 6 months. My dad's dad passed away
Okay.
6 months before I was born,
Okay.
and it was a heart attack. It was just sudden
Right.
death, having heart issues, and but they knew that they were having a girl. And we were going through photo albums one day, and I seen this picture. The man I seen standing in the doorway. And my mom even came over that day and like made sure the doors were locked, and she's like, there's no way anybody could have got
Right.
in. And the man that I seen, I was like, this is the guy I seen. We were going through pictures, and I was like, this is the guy that I seen in the living room that day.
Right.
it was like, that's not possible. And I was like, well, who is this guy? Because I had never seen him.
Right.
And it was my dad's dad.
Believe it or not, not to interrupt, but one of my best friends, Natasha, which she actually was a part of my paranormal team and all that at the time, and we ended up becoming photography partners and all that. Well, her, well, we call her Nana. Um,
Nana.
she, yeah,
Meemaw.
yeah, Meemaw. But her, she's got actually she's got four boys, and the two oldest ones, one of them was having experiences with like somebody he was seeing or something. He was always acting scared, but he couldn't talk yet. So
Hmm.
they were showing him pictures, like family pictures, and I gotta have her tell the story because I mean I'll probably screw it up or whatever, or I
Let's
won't
get her
tell it
on the
right.
podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, she probably will too. And it's even cool, like when Nana tells the story as well, because which you would love Nana though. But yeah, it's almost the same similar story because it's like yeah, Zach would. I guess like he couldn't, like he wasn't able to talk yet because he was like still pretty young, and like he kept seeing. I forgot what he kept seeing, but they were showing him pictures and stuff like that, and he was like freaking out when he saw the photo. It jarred him a little bit. But I gotta, yeah, I'll have her tell the story. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Um,
We actually investigated the house too a long time ago.
I mean, I've never had an experience like that. I mean, and I after that experience, I was always like, okay, there's more to the afterlife that because I went to a private school.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not.
No, I
I
don't
went
believe it. I think
so
you're
I
totally, I think you're totally full of it on that one.
No, I went through catechism training, like I Bible studies, all of that. Like I went to a Lutheran school
My
from
mom grew
first
up
grade.
Lutheran.
Yeah, I went to a Lutheran school from
Yeah,
first grade until freshman year of high school. I went to Lutheran high school.
I always
And
called it the minor leagues of Catholicism.
I mean,
I don't
it,
follow
it really
religion,
it
but
really is. It's as close to Catholic as you can get. It really
yeah, that's
is.
why I said it's a minor
Um,
league. It's a minor league of Catholicism. So
yeah. So, I went to that school and honestly, like my education, it was better with me going to a private school because I had that
right,
one-on-one teachers and everything.
right,
Um, as far as, shoving beliefs down, and I'm not I'm not disregarding anybody's, religion or anything like
right.
that. I'm not doing anything
I
like
don't
that.
follow like I don't follow religion, but I don't like I'm not
Right.
anti. I'm
So
not
I'm more
anti-religion, so it's like whatever
right.
anybody believes what they believe, or you know,
Right. So I'm more of a spiritual person.
yeah,
I do believe that there is a higher power. I do believe that there is an afterlife. I don't think that
right,
we'll be food at the end of the day. Um, but I do not follow a specific religion. You
right,
know, I have friends that are, from Catholic to atheist to
yeah,
Baptist to, friends that just like, I don't know,
right,
I mean, and I'm glad to have friends like that. I'm glad to
yeah,
have diversity in my life because it's made me who I am, and it's definitely made me see a different perspective on the
right,
afterlife, because of what I seen as a child and then getting into this, the paranormal field and experiencing a lot of the stuff that I've experienced, which I haven't experienced anything like that, but
right.
I've experienced some pretty cool stuff,
I
and
haven't.
I'm well, maybe you just need to go with me sometime. Like,
I'll still no.
I know, you're a
See, that's why I
debunker.
think this podcast is going to be a really good dynamic because you're the believer and I'm the skeptic.
Yeah. You
So
know, but so my ex, well, we were together at the time, and I took him to a house, and he's an atheist with an agnostic twist, if that makes any sense. So
Kind of, sort of, like where he's
okay,
okay.
so a skeptic, but like you have to have it in his face. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
has to see it to believe it.
Well, see, that's like with me with Ghost and all that. It's like I've investigated the paranormal, or not really. I don't want to say paranormal because you can use the term paranormal with different topics.
Right.
And but when it comes to Ghost, it's almost like I've investigated. I mean, I've even like I was investigating people's houses. I wasn't going to the paid locations
Oh,
all the time.
I've done that too.
You know,
I've
so
had stuff
so with
happen.
me, it's like I've always had like my conclusions were always kind of like they were psychological. You know,
Right.
there was more natural explanations to something than just saying it's a ghost, you know, and
Well,
stuff
and
like that.
I have to agree with you on that
Well, of
because
course you got to agree with me.
okay, I don't have to agree to nothing, but but no, we went to so me and Judy went and investigated this lady's house. I'm not going to name names,
Well, no,
but
because
um,
I've always kept every name anonymous. You know, I've never
right, just
the locations of the names and all
I
that.
don't know if
Yeah,
she wants I don't know if she wants that out there. So we went and investigated her house. Her little girls were seeing stuff at night, and they were here. They lived in a very, very, very old house. Like I'm talking French doors and everything. Like it was
like
super.
1800s or
Oh yeah, for sure. Like for sure. Um, but even though like there may have been, we're not discrediting them feeling like there's something there.
right.
But while we were there, we didn't have anything happen. Um, we got a couple pictures that could have been orbs or it could have been dust, I mean, because it was kind of hard to,
99.9% is probably dust or bugs.
I mean, the way it looked,
You're
and
talking to a photographer.
I take multiple pictures back to back. I'm one of those. I have to take them back to back because if I catch something in one picture that wasn't in like the five pictures before that and it's the same shot, it might be something. But I didn't catch anything really, so when we left we were like, we're not discrediting that you guys haven't felt anything,
Right.
we're not saying that you guys are kooks or whatever because I get that all the
Well,
time. We're
how
just
I
saying,
was, yeah, how I always told people, I would say that I was like, like I can't discredit what you're saying, but when I was here, I didn't, to my
nothing
conclusion.
happened, right?
Right.
And I just, we just told her, like it's probably nothing bad, I just
Right.
don't, just try to ignore it, and if you ignore it, it'll go away because
Right.
that's usually how it is. Because I have had stuff happen to me after an investigation, um, where something, I feel like something followed me home. I had my friend Emily and Lance meet me at my house. I had a house off of 11th Street in Beach Grove, and Veda wasn't home, because I don't like her being at the house or whatever after I do an investigation, just in case anything does follow me home. And
I don't believe in the whole follow people home thing.
I
I never bought into it.
okay, and that's fine, but
Yeah.
also I did have something follow me home, and I had them come over. We were sitting there talking in my living room. We hear, it sounds like glass and everything shattering in my, like, in the hallway in my room, and I was living in a really small house. And
Right.
we walked back there, and there was a broom that like knocked over, but nothing was broken. And this
But you
broom
heard
was,
glass shatter.
yeah, and there was nothing. And it was
Okay.
just really weird, and they got spooked. The fact that they got spooked, I'm like, something clearly is here.
Right.
They got spooked. They left, and I ended up yelling at whatever was there, and I was like, you need to go back. So wherever you came from, you need to go back because this is my house. You need to go back home.
Right.
And didn't have anything happen after that, because I got pretty angry because it scared. I mean, they can say they weren't scared, but they were pretty spooked.
Right.
So, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not having that.
Right.
So go home.
It's like, well, with me, like I said, this is just my opinion. I mean, it's kind of like what I experience, and I've always felt like the whole follow people home theory. That to me, I always thought it was like just psychological, you know, because again, as of being a skeptic, I've never found enough evidence, or I never found enough proof or evidence to back up those claims or to back that up, or just say, well, something follows home. Okay, well, where's enough evidence to say that it did, or that's just me though.
Um,
I'm the
yeah, well,
complicated, which you know me, I'm complicated.
if I
You know me, I drive people insane.
was, that's why we're two peas in a pod and why we're on a podcast together. So,
It's like I said, it's going to be a good dynamic.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, and that's why I asked you. I was like, are you ready
Right.
to argue with me on here? Because we're going to be arguing.
Well, you know
Has
me, like I just keep going until I know I'm right, like until I just convince everybody I'm right. I don't
well,
stop.
well, I'm a Taurus, so
I'm a
I can,
Pisces.
no. So we're always right.
Yeah. See, my dad's a Taurus, and yeah.
Yeah. So my mom's a Taurus and my dad's a Leo.
Right.
So they always ask me, they're like, where do you get your thick headedness from? I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe like so.
But yeah, I mean, that's always been me though. Like because like when I started out, it's almost
I
like
mean,
it was always
has
exciting.
there ever been anywhere that and I'm not trying to interrupt you, but
No, it's fine.
has there ever been anywhere that you've even felt a little bit different, or
Uh,
you've had an
okay, back
experience?
to Nana's house. And like I said, we need to get Natasha on one night because I mean she's okay. Nana's house is probably one place as a skeptic here talking. I gotta say, if there's any percentage of maybe something, because I mean, okay, I want to get something straight here.
Get
People,
it together.
well, people get skeptic and cynic mixed up. Okay, skeptic is basically like they're still open to the idea, or open to until like you collect your data, you go over to find your evidence, to.
Right.
But I gotta say, as of Nana's house is probably, if anything, can make me say, okay, the paranormal exists, or I mean, ghosts exist. Um, that's one place, man. Like it was because Nana still wants us to go back out there, and she's the coolest. Number one, if we ever did though, she'll make us biscuits and gravy in the morning. Yeah.
I love Nana.
Oh, I'm telling you, she's amazing. I love that woman to death. And but there's a story that she needs to tell you because only it's interesting when she tells the story. But like her house caught on fire. Okay, her house caught on fire. And the fire, which fire heat goes up. Okay, well
Right.
by the time the fire hits the attic, everything goes out. Everything just stops. Everything just went dead stop. Like fire just did not go any further. And when the
Right.
firefighters got the fire out and they went back, checked everything out, um, they said like the temperature up there was like so hot. Even they said they don't see how there was like art supplies, paper everywhere, like Christmas wrap, stuff that could have caught on fire or should have. And
Right.
I'm like, and she's telling the story, and I'm like just sitting there going, holy, like, oh my, like, how did, and it's just
How?
one of, and it's amazing how listen to her tell the story.
How do you
You know,
debunk that? But
that's what I. Well, even when a firefighter came to debunk it, when the actual fire chief himself was kind of like, I don't see how that fire stopped.
is that what
That should
keeps
have,
you in the paranormal field? Stuff like
dude.
that?
I don't think it's like, no, it's like what kind,
I got you
what, no,
thinking.
no, no, I mean just, but it's like I've because I'm still the type of person, I still try to find natural
I'm
explanations to everything. Like I question, like it's almost like watching the X Files. It's like question everything. It's okay to question everything. It's okay to, it's okay to like instead because the one problem I got, now I don't want to say problem. I mean because it's not a problem. But the one thing I've always saw with most ghost hunting teams that people call themselves paranormal investigators is that no matter what, they instantly will go, "Oh my God, it's a ghost! Look at this evidence I have. Look at all like I can't explain this away, but in an odd way, why didn't you find other explanations, or why didn't you try to look? Why didn't you try, or why didn't you, you know?" It's almost like okay, because here's a scenario, kind of like a scenario. I've always looked at myself kind of like my favorite TV show at one time used to be Doctor House MD. And it's almost like you got that whiteboard, and when you're trying to diagnose something, you always put everything that could possibly happen. Then you start marking out, you know, this, mark out that. Okay, well, could it be this? It's almost like even like I went to an event probably 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4. And I mean,
yeah.
it's a great location, and certain people that was on a TV show was there, and I'm not going to name who it was because that's got nothing to do with anything. Nice people though, but it's almost like I could tell they were trying to bullshit somebody because they were kind of like, "Hey, does anybody feel that cold breeze? Does anybody?" And it's like then everybody's going,
And
"Oh
then it's
yeah,
getting in everybody
oh look
else's
at
ear.
this." Then I just the only within a matter of seconds, I look down, and you look down a hallway, and there's a window open. But not one person decided to get up to see if a window was open.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there
So
going,
so
yeah,
here's my thing when I go on a hunt, um, and I've been to quite a few places.
okay,
Uh,
hold on, not to interrupt, but that's why, okay, since you just mentioned the word hunt, that's why I
or
think
haunt
that
or
there's a
haunt.
difference. There's a difference between paranormal investigation, the word investigation, and ghost hunt. Those two are totally different, polar
They
opposites.
are okay. So when I've went on an investigation,
When you go on an investigation, you investigate the claims.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I want to capture stuff too.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's why I go. So, I mean, honestly, you can intertwine both of them together. I mean,
Uh, I'm going to
yes and
say
no.
no.
Yep. Okay. Well, agree to disagree.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's fine. That's totally fine.
so, but my thing is I look at it more as a haunt, not a hunt or an investigation. It's a haunt, like because I'm there to experience everything on my own.
Okay,
I
but
wouldn't.
here's another thing though.
Why are
When
you not
people
saying it's on that though?
no, but hang on. But when people go somewhere, okay, now think about this. When people go somewhere and they automatically already think it's haunted, okay? They automatically before they automatically think it's haunted or automatically think it's got a ghost.
No, I already know where you're going with this, and I want you to
Do
hear
you
me
see what I'm
out.
saying though?
I but I want you to hear me out before you start
Okay.
talking about that, because that's not
I
how
just had to
I.
throw that point out there before,
Okay, and that is a very valid point, but that is not who I am. So I'm going to
Okay.
explain how I do things.
I'm
So
just saying
now,
that's what most people do, though. That's a problem
well,
with
and
most.
no, and I totally get that, and I
Yeah.
totally I agree with you there that it gets in people's heads, so then they automatically think, oh well,
Correct.
you know, oh my gosh, there's ghosts or something like that, or we're going to
Right.
see apparitions or whatever. I can tell you right now, I've been doing this for 8 years, and I've never seen an apparition besides when I was 8 years old.
I've never
I've
seen
never
one ever.
I've never seen anything
I'm
like it.
not seeing.
Now I have seen. We'll get into that later, but I did see something at Randolph County Infirmary that it literally, and I'm pretty dark complected. All of the pigment left my skin, bud. Like, and you can ask anybody in my group, like
So
it
you turn total white.
clear. Like,
Right. Okay.
scared me.
So
And
you totally turned into pure white girl.
yeah, I was straight white girl, like no Indian pigment at all in my body at all. Like it was, yeah, it was gone. So when I go on haunts, and I'm gonna start calling them haunts now
Okay, that's fine.
because
You can call it whatever you want. I
just
don't care.
just
England.
how I decipher it.
Okay.
So I want to
Tomato, tomato.
investigate. I also, but but I also want to capture stuff. So it is a hunt at the same time. So I'm
Okay.
just calling.
That's fine. Fair enough.
But I don't like, so there's a lot of times where they'll be like, "Oh, let's take you on a tour." I am one of those. I don't want to go on a tour. You can show me where certain places are in the location, but
Right.
I don't want to hear anybody else's experiences. I don't want to hear anything.
You see, that's
And
why I got a problem when people go to
they'll kind of
locations.
they'll kind of look at me and they'll be like, "Really?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, and me and Judy are both the same way, which is why I love investigating with her, because
Well,
we experience things on our own. So if we experience something or something happens to us and we end up telling, whoever owns the location or whatever,
right.
or other
Well, see, it's
people,
like when you go to a location
had the
and the
same thing that happened, that kind
right.
of validates that, okay, so it didn't just happen to us, it happened to somebody else. So
Well,
I,
okay,
I
like
don't
the
I don't
term,
like hearing
like when
experiences.
people use the term hotspot. Like, hey man, where's the
Yeah.
hotspots? Hey man, where's the hot? And the first thing that hits my head is like, how, like, what, like, huh? Like, what, like, what's that supposed to be? Or like,
Yeah,
because being at the
I
Hannah
don't want to
Mansion, like
yeah.
being at the Hannah Mansion, I've heard it 1,000 times. Hey man, where's the hotspots? And I'm like, shit, I don't know. It's like, like you ain't blow smoke up your like
I've
you ain't
had
blow
so
smoke up
many
your ass or something,
experiences.
or you know
So many experiences in that house though. I've
where
had so many experiences in that house. Hannah house.
they have you like what?
Um, well, Mama's room, I actually felt like somebody touched me on my shoulder. Um, I've had
It's
an
weird that
uncle.
females feel have weird experiences inside that room.
Yeah. Well, Veda, my daughter Veda,
Yeah,
V.
I know who she is.
Um, she, yeah,
I know
yeah.
her.
Look at my flaw,
Yeah, I know
man.
her. Yeah, I
um,
know her.
so she actually loves it up in Mama's room, and she said that's where she has felt the most like electric feel in that place. Like it feels like all of her hair, like she's like, "Mom, all the hair stands up on my body when I walk in that room, but I feel the most comfortable in that room."
No, but I mean, even like doing tours and stuff like that. Like I've had women, and I'm not passing off as paranormal. I'm not going to pass it off as nothing like that because I won't. I won't do that. But doing history tours, I don't talk about the paranormal. I
I
don't
do.
talk about the ghosts and stuff like that. I
I
try
do.
not to. If
I,
people
I I
ask,
don't do it. I don't do it a lot. I do it
right,
like short snippets, and then especially when we're talking about the basement. You know, people
Well,
think,
because you got to. Well, I mean, you got to add the urban legends in. You got to do that. But I'm
right?
talking about.
Well, and that's what I tell people. I'm like, it's all legend,
Yeah.
but there has been a fire at the house, right? There was a recording of like a fire, right?
No, not that I'm
Really?
aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
I
If
thought.
there is, okay. What I'm trying to say is, if there is, I'm not. I haven't seen it.
Oh no, I'm talking about like way back in the day. There was a fire.
Yeah. You talking about the urban legend where the slaves died?
No, 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 no. I'm
Are you
just
talking about
talking about
a different fire?
there was a fire in general way back in the day in the basement of the house.
If there was, I wasn't aware of it, or I didn't hear about it.
I don't know. I swear I thought Scott said that to me, and I'm see.
But
I'm
back,
not sure. Maybe
but
maybe
yeah,
I'll have to.
but back to Grandma's room. Like every time, like I'm not. It doesn't even happen all the time. It just happens once on a blue moon. But it's like not males. I have never seen a male do this. Only females, and it's weird, and I can't put a finger on it. But it's like but I've had females like feel ill, have
Yeah,
sadness come over them. Actually,
curious.
well, Kira did,
Yeah,
and she's the
yeah.
most happy-go-lucky, bubbly,
I know.
person on
I
the
was so
planet.
glad to have her doing tours with my first date. Not saying that your tours aren't fun, but she
You're
is
damn
that
skippy. They're fun.
she she meets my personality, like as far as
Well,
like the
yeah,
and like we're both very outgoing and very bubbly, and like I'm a little bit more mean than she is, but but she's she's very
she's
very
Now
outgoing.
I've even told her that she does those tours way better than I do
Oh,
because it
way
just
better
she
than
was
I do, and
fit.
I
She's
just
fit to
started.
do it. I mean,
Not even just because I just started, but
she's
yeah,
perfect at it. She's totally perfect at it. I mean, just
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, for sure.
And I don't care. Like when I first met her,
So cute.
like yeah, when I first met her, she was doing the indie fun tours through the Hannah House,
Right.
and that's how I met her. And I was watching her because I mean I didn't know what it was, and I was just hanging out with Scott that night, just hanging out is all we was doing. And then that's how I met her. She came through the house, and I just actually followed her around and watched her tour, thinking, okay, well I'm gonna watch see how she does it. And I was totally blown away. I was like, oh my god! So she put me to shame. It's like, my god, really? So yeah,
Yeah,
so after that, so once we got the history, but oh, I take it back. She started helping out for Paranormal Day celebration tours, and then when I just now decided to bring the tours back after the pandemic, um, I asked her if she wanted to help with it, and it was just no brainer. It was so then we brought you on board. So yeah, so now I got double dose.
well, you lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me.
But well, no, you had hit me up. Well, I had hit you up a while ago, and I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about wanting to volunteer,"
Right?
and
Yeah.
you should really start helping out with tours. Like you'd be really good at it.
Yeah.
And I was okay. I'll
Right.
give a crack at it, and I love it. I mean, I do. I look forward to every first Sunday of the month. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'll try to post it on Facebook or any
Right.
social media, to try to get anybody out there. I I mean, like I said, I grew up in Fountain Square for 15 years,
Right.
so the whole south side of Indianapolis has been my stomping grounds.
Right.
So I've grown up on the legends, and that's exactly what they are. They're legends
Right.
because
Yeah.
concrete about bodies being buried down there or anything, but I
We'll
grew
see.
up on the
Yeah.
legends and the stories of the Hannah house. And
Right.
I went to the haunted house, when I was a kid.
I never did. I never got to see the haunted house.
I did. I got to see the haunted house. They did a really good job. It was, I mean, it's not the best one I've ever been to, but it was also spooky because it was
What's
like
the best one you ever been to?
the best haunted house I've ever been
Yeah, what's
to.
the best one in Indiana?
Nightmare on Edgewood,
Yeah, that
hands
is a good
down.
one.
Nightmare on Edgewood, man. I remember when it used to be at the Ball Diamonds, and
Oh
I
God,
can
that was
tell you
back in the day.
way back in the day,
That
yeah.
was back in the
So
day. Yeah,
yeah, and I mean, it was a blast, and I remember walking
Necropolis was always
through.
good too, though.
It used to be,
Yeah, back. I'm
and
talking about back in the day. We're talking
yeah,
about back in the
well,
day.
and don't get me wrong, like Necropolis, like I do love Necropolis because they do stuff all year round now.
Yeah,
So they have like
they got
stuff
something
during
coming up soon, don't they?
Easter. Um,
Or I could have sworn I saw something like Slaughter at something. I saw it on Facebook.
maybe halfway to Christmas kind of type
I don't
thing.
know. I like I said, I saw it. I
You
didn't
know,
really
I
pay attention.
I don't know. I know that they have stuff during Christmas, Easter, well,
Right,
clearly Halloween.
right.
And then, and then it's also at Dark Army. So I mean, if
Yes.
anybody's in paintballing,
Oh,
that's a
that's
great
loads of
place to
fun too.
go. It's yeah. So I mean, I do love Necropolis. Do not get me wrong, and their prices are not that bad.
Right.
Um, I mean, compared to back in the day, I mean, you used to not pay
Well, see,
nothing.
me and Kara is both Morgan County people
Oh, okay,
because I'm outside of Mooresville and she's in Monrovia,
right.
and there's a
Well,
haunted house out in Hall, which is outside of Monrovia. That one's really good.
yeah. So there's actually one. Me and my friend April, we've been talking about for years. We've been wanting to go, and I believe it's out in. It's close to Bloomington, like in Springville, Indiana,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's an old haunted train,
I've never been to that one.
and they have like a haunted attraction there, but I hands down Nightmare on Edgewood.
Yeah, Nightmare
That
on Edgewood is good.
I mean, last and
See,
they can
like
grab you and stuff still. Like they're not able to grab you in any places
I
anymore
can't remember.
because you'll get a
Yeah.
huge lawsuit and
Well,
everything.
see, 'cause back in the '90s, yeah. See, I was a teenager back in the '90s, and all of us people that hung out with each other, like we had like a group of friends, and we would go haunted housing just for fun. And that's what we did for fun during October. But yeah, I gotta say that one was real good. But no, I
I'm gonna
don't remember. But I don't
I'm gonna
remember the
have
one
to
at Hannah
send you
House.
some of the pictures of me dressed up for Halloween because that is
I
not
am
just for
totally, I
Halloween
totally
season,
can't wait.
but Halloween is my favorite time of year. And it's
Oh
not
yeah,
just hoodie weather because hoodie weather is my absolute favorite time of year.
right,
But I love the uniqueness of it, like the
right,
originalness of it. I mean,
yeah,
everybody does their own thing. I
right.
mean, one year Beta was like, I want to be a dead softball player. So I literally cut a softball in half, dug it out, and literally with makeup and everything,
You know what?
cost
You
me
showed me the pictures.
$5 for
Yeah,
her costume because she already had softball gear, and
yeah.
I made it look like this thing was
It doesn't
protruding
take
out of
much to
her
be creative.
no, and I mean that's what it's all about. And
Right,
I love scary. I've always been into scary. Everybody's like, "How can you fall asleep to scary movies?" I don't know. It's just always been a comfort thing
right.
for me as a kid. I mean, I grew up with my dad watching Tales of the Crypt with me when I was like
Yes,
6
I used
years
to watch that
old.
as a little kid.
I mean, I used to love listening to the Crypt Keeper laughing, and I used to think he was funny. Same with Chucky. I thought he was funny, and that's probably why I'm so screwed
Well,
up.
see, it's like with me though. It's like I grew up loving, yeah, like Tales of the Crypt, Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I got more into the classics, like Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, Lon
Yeah.
Chaney. I got
So I
totally.
actually I actually just this last October I just watched the original Frankenstein with Veda, and I was like, V, you're really emotional. I don't know if you're going to be able to handle this.
Did you know he
And
also narrated? Did you know he even narrated Nightmare Before Christmas? Not Nightmare Before. I'm on. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Slap! Somebody slap me for saying that.
that's Tim Burton.
Yes, I know, I know. I'm talking about How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh,
The
really?
Grinch. Yeah, the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas that was narrated by Boris Karloff.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
love
people thought
it.
it was James Earl Jones.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, no, that's Boris Karloff.
So
He was
anyway,
really old. He was really old when
Veda,
he did it.
Veda watched it and she was like, I just feel so bad for it. Like she just like flood of
Yeah.
emotion.
Well, see,
Frankenstein.
that's
And
what the
she's
story was supposed to do, though.
yeah, it broke my heart. Like I started like tearing up with her. I'm like, damn, dude.
Well, see, that's what the story's supposed to do to you. I mean, like the actual story by Mary Shelley.
Yeah.
It's an amazing, yeah, but it's an amazing story, yeah.
Oh, when yeah, with the little girl when he
Right.
threw her in, like, oh my gosh, like I was just like looking at Veda the whole time, and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's about to start freaking out, and she
Well, you
did.
ought to look up how many
She
movies.
was
Yeah,
too. I was
you ought
like,
to look up how many movies that Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi did together.
didn't you? No, never mind. We're not gonna get
What?
into that. No, we're not gonna get into
What?
with the mirror
The Mirror.
from the museum.
Oh, yeah, that was yeah. That's nothing but a bullshit story.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into
Yeah,
that.
that's a bullshit story. I mean,
I'm
it's
sure everybody
actually.
else would love to hear about it, but we're not
Oh,
gonna
I'm
get into
sure people would love to hear about it, but I mean, there's actually a woman that come forward and said it was a bullshit story, and
it.
had
Yeah.
proof it, and had like even the Dybbuk box. There was well, okay. There's a friend of mine that's
I
got
still
a
want to go, dude. I still want to go. I still want to go.
well.
I
There's a
don't
guy
care.
that came on my friend's YouTube channel, yeah, his YouTube channel, and admitted that he was the one that started the hoax, and told everybody how he did it.
No shit.
Oh no shit, totally. I'll send it
You're
to
gonna
you.
have to, yeah, I was about to say you're gonna have to send that to
Don't
me.
worry, I'll send it to you. Because I mean, I'll find it. I will find it on YouTube, and I will send it to you. Yeah, the Dybbuk box is a hoax. It is a dead up hoax, and a guy actually come forward and
I
admitted
still
that
ain't touching that shit, dude.
he actually come forward and
Nope.
admitted that it's a hoax. All I mean, basically, all they are. You can find those boxes online anywhere. You can find them, and they're basically like old time storage boxes. Is all they are, like jewelry boxes, little liquor boxes,
Well,
like people would store like liquor bottles in them. And that's all they are.
hear these damn dogs.
But yeah, the Dybbuk box is a hoax.
I don't know.
And if
I
people wants to argue about it, feel free to argue with me. I don't care.
I'll
It's
argue with you all day. That's why I'm on here.
doesn't mean I gotta listen to you.
Oh, you're gonna listen to me for a whole hour.
Cause I got a microphone and you're gonna listen to every word I gotta say.
Good God.
But yeah, that's why I got a problem with paranormal TV. I mean, that's why I got a huge problem with it, and I always have. And, and one main reason, like when I was doing like home investigations, that was kind of like the rise, that era, that rise of when all those TV shows were getting popular. Like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters were real popular back in the time. And I always felt like just because those shows were getting popular, is that I kind of felt like everybody and their brother was thinking their house was haunted, you know?
Right.
And I'm not
Yeah,
joking. I
it
mean,
gets inside people's heads.
It
And
does.
like
You can
whenever
create your own
like,
ghost.
oh, it's scripted or whatever. Like, I don't think it's necessarily scripted,
I
but
do.
I do like, well, and again, this is why we're on a podcast together to agree to
It
disagree.
wouldn't, because
Like,
if it wasn't,
I,
it wouldn't be on
think,
TV.
I don't think it's necessarily scripted, but I do think that they throw in the music. I mean, they're doing
But
all of this.
the networks do control what goes on the shows. The networks control.
Well, I mean, they decide where they want them to go and stuff like that. I mean,
Nope. Okay, Ryan
do you
Buell.
work for the network?
Hang
Do
on.
you
Hold
work
on.
for the network?
Hang on.
No,
'Cause I know.
no.
Okay, Ryan Buell, that was on the show Paranormal State. Okay,
Mhm.
even though I think Ryan Buell's a piece of shit, and I think he's a horrible.
Wait, the main dude?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not even going to
Hang
talk
on.
about him
Hold
then
on.
because
Let me
no,
finish. Let me finish.
no.
Even though, yeah, the man. I just think he's a piece of garbage, and I have no respect for him whatsoever. But
I don't
before
know the
he
guy, but I have not heard good
But
things. So.
before he pulled all the stunts that he did, before he faked cancer, before he got on drugs, he wrote a book, and I read the book. Okay, and he admitted in his book that the networks control it all.
And you're going to believe this off of somebody that was on drugs and everything.
I believe it. I believe it because I mean, it's like,
But you're a skeptic, though, bud.
what's your
Like, you
point?
can't. But you're a skeptic.
What's your point?
God.
No, but it's like, but I do believe the networks do control
They
quite a
do
bit of it.
control. I will
Because
agree with
think
you that
about
I think
this.
they
Now,
do.
now let's
But
think about it.
I don't think that it's not
If you
real.
got a
I think
TV
that a
show,
lot of
but if
stuff
you
that
have a
you're
TV
actually
show
seeing is real.
that they're supposed to, that it's a ghost hunting TV show, and you're having TV shows that you're not coming up with ghosts and all that, then guess what? Nobody's going to watch it. Then it's not
Well,
going to
they
entertain
make it
anybody.
seem like they're only there for a night, but from oh, what show was it? I can't even remember what show it was. And to be honest, I'm not even gonna throw anybody out there like that. But they they claimed to only be there. They claimed to only be there for like a couple nights. They were there for a whole week. So of course shit's gonna be popping off for a whole, like bits and pieces. So while they're filming throughout the whole week, they edit everything to get
Oh, of
all the
course they edit everything. Of course they do. Sure, they edit everything. It's all. I mean, let's think about this. Like, because now the TV shows, I
No,
think,
I'm saying they edit everything to where
I know what you're
like
saying. I just
it
had to blow you some
doesn't
shit.
seem like that. Yeah, I know. Whatever. Whatever. But yeah,
But
no, I mean,
it's almost like even now, and I think, and here's a problem.
I just don't think it's all scripted. I do believe that the network has a lot to do with it.
Of course they do. Because if not, they're
But
not going to get
and
ratings.
I agree with you, but I don't think it's all scripted. Um, of course the network has something to do with it, but I do believe it's real. They throw in the creepy music and they throw in all this and
Right.
they say that they're only there for this long, but they got to be there for longer to have that much stuff happen. You know
Well,
what I
see,
mean?
that's why I kind of miss Ghost
But
Hunters.
they also,
But
but
Ghost
they
Hunters
also
back in the day, the show Ghost Hunters.
but they're antagonizing stuff and they're taunting things and whatever. Of course, that's going to get a reaction out of something. That's something that I don't do as a paranormal investigator. I
Yeah,
will
but I
not.
don't.
I won't do that.
Okay, but let's think of this though. I mean, it's like Ghost Hunters back in the day when that TV. Now they were debunkers. Now they found natural explanations. Now, that's what I think they should do no matter what. I mean, now there was a TV show, I forgot what it was, but it kind of pissed me off in an odd way because it kind of like people, like, say, people in their houses would have all these paranormal claims. Then, like, a home inspector would come in and look at the house and kind of like, well, you got that covering up the vent. That's probably why your room's getting blah, blah, blah. That was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're breaking ground. Then all of a sudden, at the end of the
Well,
show,
Zach, I mean, you've never really been a friend of or a fan of a friend. You've never really been a fan of Ghost Adventures, but
no,
Zach's done that,
well, he's a
and
douchebag,
Zach's even
though.
brought skeptics in. Zach's brought skeptics in.
He's
He's
nothing but
tried.
a money making douchebag. That's all he only cares about money. That's all it is. It's all about making money. Which, I mean, here's the thing though. I'm not going to knock. Okay, I'm not going to knock anybody. Okay, let's go ahead and go backwards. When Ghost Adventures came out, and I'll bring somebody on here that will tell you how Zach got the start. Okay, and I'm telling you, I got the proof. I, they were film students. They weren't paranormal
I still
invest.
like the show, and I still like Zach, so I
But
don't
I'm just
care.
saying they were film students. Okay, they were film students. They weren't paranormal investigators. So they wanted a TV show, so they picked Ghost. Okay,
Mhm.
so it got him on TV. It got him famous. I'm not going to knock him for getting famous. I'm not going to knock him
He made a
for.
great show. It's got me still watching it, so I
Oh, I
mean.
haven't watched in years. I mean, so. But I'm
Do
just
you
saying.
do
I
you,
mean,
do you
it's
want to watch it one night?
no. I would rather be punched in the face. I would rather be. I would rather you just kick me in the nays and get it over with.
The cojones.
Yeah, just kick me in the
Cojones.
cojones. You
Cojones.
know, but no, I never liked Ghost Adventures. Now my very first hold on here. Now, when I first started the podcast, my very first guest, his name's Frank Lee, and oh my god, Frank's a great dude. Frank's just an amazing guy, very smart, intelligent guy. Um, when me and him was talking about problems with the TV shows, and I mean, one point he did make, and I will agree with it, is that, say, when Ghost Adventures went to a certain town, okay, and say the town's revenue or wasn't that great, but all of a sudden here's a location, and now these people are going, like, I mean, I've done it. I'm not going to be a hypocrite, or I'm not going to sound like a hypocrite, because I'm a history buff. I love history, and I used to travel to these
No,
locations.
that's one of the main reasons.
So
Like
when
a
people
lot
are
of people
going,
get
so when
into
people are traveling and going to these locations and going to these towns, it's making the town a little money. So I got nothing against that part. I really don't. So when they're naming these locations and somebody's like, "Oh well, I'd like to go there. I'd like to go there," so it's going to make the location money, and then it's going to make the town a little money. Like if you got to get a hotel, go to restaurants, and I mean, I will say that there's something positive that did come out of this stuff. I'm not saying it's all negative, and I'm not going to sit and bash every bit of it,
right.
because there is something positive that came out of it.
Well,
But as of the whole ghost thing, I just never bought into it. I just never.
so and that's okay. But
Yeah,
I still like the show.
I mean, it's like sitting there, a little
But
kid, and
one thing I can say as a paranormal investigator, there's been places that I've been that
right,
you know either everything will happen or nothing will happen,
right,
like nothing at all. But the thing is a lot of the places that I've went, there is so much history tied in those places,
yeah,
and
exactly,
how those places were built from the ground up and the history behind them and everything. I mean, that's really fascinating. So
yeah,
I really like that. And these places are gorgeous. Like, I
uh
mean,
huh,
they have so much character, and I'm like,
Yeah.
when we were what I point out to you that was on Facebook the other day. What was it? Our last tour. Oh, it was that saloon.
The saloon there
That
in
was,
Fountain Square.
yeah, that was in Fountain Square, and I was like, dude, that's been there since I've been a kid, and
Yeah.
it's been there before then.
Right.
And Scott and Pammy even said something about it, and I was like,
Nana.
I would love to buy that place.
Nana.
And it looks like like to a lot of people
Nana.
like that, it would look like a rundown dump. That place has so much potential, so
Right. Of
much,
course it does.
and yeah, I mean, it's just yeah, and it has a lot of history too. I didn't
Right.
realize how much history was behind that
Uh huh.
place, so
Well,
it
it's
was
like
really
even.
cool to actually read up on that a little bit.
I mean, it's even.
And I lived right down the street from there my whole life. Like
Right.
I literally lived off of Lexington and Harlan, and
So it's
that's
almost.
right off the State Prospect. So it was
But
like right there.
it's almost like even though, like, say, Ghost Adventures went somewhere, or Ghost Hunters went somewhere, or who cares? But
Right.
I never had a problem going to those places. I didn't give a shit about the ghost part. I was more into it because of the history and seeing the
The history.
location. And I mean, well,
I'm
you
into
know me
both.
though. I love to
I'm
travel.
into both. I'm
I
into
mean,
both.
I love road trips. I love, seeing the, because I mean, like, for example, one of my very first ones, God, this was years ago. This was when I was married. No, I was. I don't think we were married yet. No.
Which one?
My second ex-wife. No, but I mean, me and her used to travel together. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's fun.
but yeah, I think, but yeah, me and her used to
What's the
travel together and
biggest
stuff like.
place you've ever been? What's the
Dude,
biggest place you've ever been?
the biggest,
Yeah.
uh, shit, probably the first one, maybe.
What was your first one?
A place in
What was your
Ohio.
first?
It was a place in Ohio, and I can't remember the town. I'll have to look it up. But the place was called Brand New Mansion.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
Beautiful building. Holy shit. But the history behind it was amazing. But yeah, we used to travel to stuff like that all the time, and I mean, just have a blast. And I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And I mean, I don't knock people that do it or whatever because I've got a ton of amazing memories. Like, I mean, because you get a group of friends together, and you load up the car, and you guys, like, go to these places and have a
Yeah.
blast. Have a good time.
Yeah, me and Judy are talking about taking a road trip to Iowa because we've always wanted to go to the Villisca Axe Murder House. And then
Do you
I
want to hear?
actually,
Do you want to hear a
huh?
funny story? Okay, because I was going to
Share it.
do a book review. Okay, you know the lead singer of Slipknot,
Yeah,
Corey Taylor.
yeah.
Okay, he wrote a book about the pair.
He has a book out.
Yeah, I read it. It's kind of boring.
Wait, which one?
Uh, Something about.
You're making me fucking hate you. Is that the
No,
one?
that's a different book.
Yeah, I
Something
actually
about
I'm
on
gonna read that book. I
something about
heard.
on the way to heaven. My experiences with the paranormal. Uh,
I've never
Shit.
heard that one.
But yeah, I read it, and it's kind of a boring book, really. I mean, well, it's boring to me. I read it because it's Corey Taylor. I mean, because
Probably
I
wouldn't
love.
be, but yeah, he's a god.
We need to find out how to get him on the
It's like
podcast.
Corey Taylor and Jonathan Davis. Like
We need to
they're
find a way to get Corey Taylor on the podcast.
oh yeah. Oh, okay. I
Um,
wish.
hey, hey, I think we can do it. I really do. Okay, but
I
back to what I
wish.
was saying. There's a part in his book because you know
Jonathan
how
Davis went to Bell Mansion
I didn't know
and
that.
like literally so I went and investigated that place. Really great location, loved it. Absolutely
That's the one that
crazy.
Jason hosted, right?
Yeah, and it's breathtakingly beautiful. Like
That's
it's
It's in
absolutely
Fort Wayne, right?
yeah, and it used to
Okay.
be a funeral home for over 100 years.
Okay.
Anyway, so I go and investigate this place, and I'm talking to I believe they're the owners. There's a guy and a girl. I can't remember their name, unfortunately, and I hate that because they would actually be pretty cool to talk to on the podcast too.
Well, we
Maybe, maybe I
get
can
them
get with
on.
Jason. I can ask Matt.
Okay,
Maybe ask him, but or you can either way, vice versa.
and
Anyway,
you do it.
but they were talking about how Jonathan Davis, he actually investigated like a few nights prior to us being there. So he was in town. And I actually remember because I was like,
So the lead
yeah,
singer of Korn was there.
yes, yes,
Is there
yes.
pictures of it?
And no, I mean, I didn't ask him or anything, but no, he was there. But they said that he had called and asked if it was open for, like, hey, we're in town, we're doing a
That's
tour,
the funny part I was going to tell you about Corey Taylor.
and they were actually in town for a tour because I actually missed that show and I was pretty upset
I
about
didn't
it.
even know anything about it.
But I made it the year before that. I seen them.
I've never seen Korn live.
Oh my gosh, so good. So the last time I seen them was a couple years ago, and he had just got over having COVID, and he was like sitting down most of the time. Like he was just not in good shape, but he still rocked the hell out. Like, and he was, doing his belly demon vocals and everything. Like he was killing it. But the
Right.
time before that, I seen them, and that was like one of the most amazing shows I think I've ever seen. Like it was amazing, and I've seen Rob Zombie and Marilyn together. I went to that Twins of Evil tour. That was amazing, but it was just like it took so much out. That COVID took so much out of him. The last tour I seen him at, and I felt so
Right.
bad. But yeah, he was there like a few days before we went, and I was like, Jonathan Davis is
I
walking
never
the
even heard
halls.
nothing. I didn't hear nothing about that.
I was like so excited, like inner child was like screaming. I was so excited.
Well, see the Corey Taylor story that's in his book because they're from Iowa.
Yeah.
So he said something about he wanted to see if he could use his popularity to get into the Velisca house. And he was like, no, we're booked. So he kind of made a joke that, hell, even I couldn't get in, or they wouldn't even let me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in his book.
That's shitty.
Well, not really. I mean, if they're booked, they're booked. I mean, you can't get in just because you're Corey Taylor. And that's what he was making a joke about.
Dude, it's Corey Taylor.
Well, they probably didn't give a shit. It was like,
I mean, it's from Velisca, Iowa. They probably don't even know who he is.
but no, we got to try to get him on the podcast
I would love that.
somehow, some way.
I would love that. That'd be great.
I tell you what, my dream podcast would be Dan Aykroyd.
Really?
Yes, out of like that would probably be
Like
my bucket.
no, like I'm not meaning that face like ew, like
Right?
no, that's awesome.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd would be like my bucket
But
list top podcast ever.
dude, I named Veda off the movie My Girl, right?
No, I have no clue how. No.
You remember the movie My Girl, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Veda's
he was
off
in the
the movie.
movie. Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah,
Macaulay Culkin died at the end.
he was the dad.
Yes, Macaulay Culkin
Yeah,
died at the end from bee stings.
yeah.
Yeah.
I named Veda after that
Okay.
little girl.
No, I didn't know how you named her. I really didn't know.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching it and I was super pregnant, and originally her name was going to be Gracie or Ella or I don't know, something
That's my kid's name.
non-original, and I was like, I want something more unique, and I was trying to find a name, and I watched the movie My Girl, and I was crying, eating dilly bars on the couch, and I was like, Veda, that's it. Like, and
Okay.
that's,
No, I didn't know how you named her.
but Veda is Vayda. That Veda was Veda.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
A little bit different, but
Right.
Dan Aykroyd would be awesome. Maybe
Yes,
we could
Dan
get Bill
Aykroyd.
Murray on here too.
Do what?
Maybe we could get Bill Murray on here too.
That would be. You know what? I don't think I would have so many like jokes. I wouldn't keep a straight face that whole time. I'd be like laughing and joking and shit, and I don't think I could hold a straight face with Bill Murray.
I'd be smiling like a coat hanger was in my mouth the
Because
whole
I would be
time.
like
I'd be
doing
so
like so many
happy.
like Caddyshack quotes.
Dude, Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray like on the same pod, like that'd be so great.
Well, see, because like Dan Aykroyd, like his family was all like his dad and his grandpa like had ties to the paranormal and stuff,
Yeah,
and that's what inspired Dan Aykroyd to write Ghostbusters and stuff like that.
yeah,
But Dan Aykroyd's even like really knowledgeable when it comes to UFOs and stuff like that.
yeah.
So that's why I would love to
Ooh,
have him on.
speaking of UFOs, Tom DeLonge from
Blink 182.
that'd be really cool.
He got heavy into
He got
that.
really heavy into it. That's why he wasn't in
No,
this.
he got really heavy into that. Like he was
I love it.
like kind of like wanting to like getting government officials to admit we have them, and I'm surprised they didn't take him out or something, or to
Yeah.
have somebody like beat the shit out of him or something.
They might have
No,
chipped him. I don't know. They might have chipped him.
well, see, Dan Aykroyd, which it's on Joe Rogan's podcast, where he was talking about he was getting ready to do a TV show that had something to do with like UFOs or something. I can't remember the whole story, but he said he went out for a smoke break, and across the street there was a man staring at him that was dressed in black and had a black hat on. Then the guy kind of disappeared. Then Dan Aykroyd went back inside and said the next day the TV show got canceled. No explanation. No explanation, no nothing. They just told him we're not doing it.
Not doing it. It's done.
Yeah. So that's what I say I would love to have Aykroyd on. That would be my bucket list.
You know,
Of like just
that would
life
be-
itself, just life itself. I would want nothing more out of my life.
just
If
Dan
that
Aykroyd on my podcast.
Yeah, I would want nothing more out of my life. Just that. That's it. I would ask for nothing more.
Don't need it. Don't need it.
No,
You're just gonna croak after that, like
exactly.
well, my life's complete.
I could fall off a cliff and I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, hey, I had Aykroyd on my podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you invited me to be on this. Like,
Yeah,
I
had
think
to.
this was a huge opportunity to be able to, meet different people and
And we got to punk on each other all night. But we do that anyways, though. I was
we
gonna
just do
say,
that publicly now.
yeah, I was gonna say we do that anyways. Like we do that at the Hannah house all the time, but yeah, it's like we do that no matter
Drinking
what.
monsters.
Yeah, which I'm highly caffeinated there, so which that's believe it or not, it's what I got in this. I got an energy drink in this.
I'm surprised that I'm still standing after working a 12-hour shift.
I haven't been. I got off work. Hold on, this morning at 6:30. I haven't been to sleep yet.
Yeah, I've been awake since 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I got off work at 6:30 this morning. And I have not been to sleep yet.
The hospital was nuts today.
Right.
Crazy. It's just absolutely nuts. They were like, "Is there any discharges today?" And I was like, "All of them. Send them all.
Yeah, there you go.
Send them all home. Just let's get them out of here."
So, okay, one question I got: has there been a place you've always wanted to travel to? that's allegedly, because I
Haunted.
like using that word,
Allegedly. I like
allegedly haunted.
the finger quotations.
Yes, that you've always wanted to go to. And
Alcatraz.
oh, that's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
My aunt's been there.
I actually thought I heard that they're not even letting people get on the island anymore because
That I
it's
don't
surrounded
know. I
by
haven't heard none about it.
people. Yeah.
But yeah, Alcatraz has always been on my
Another
bucket.
place that I've always wanted to go, and I've always wanted to go to Louisiana.
I've never been to
You know,
Louisiana.
so my brother lives in Baton Rouge, which is like hour, 2 hours from New Orleans,
Okay,
and so I can go there whenever I get free time.
right.
So whenever I get some free time, I'm gonna go down there, and that's kind of always been on my bucket list. But Alcatraz and that Doll Island have always been two places I've always
Where's that
wanted to.
at?
I don't know. I can't remember, but I seen it on an episode of
Was that the
Ghost
one
with
in Is that the one in Japan?
No, it's
Is
not
that what
in
I'm
Japan.
thinking of?
No, hold on. Hold
What's the
on.
one in Japan?
I don't know. Hold on.
Good
I'm
lord,
not
hurry
going
up! Come on.
anywhere in Japan. I'm not going anywhere in Japan. You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Godzilla?
Because I've seen The Grudge too many fucking times.
Oh Jesus Christ! Come on.
Nope, I don't need that. Nope. Mm-mm.
Oh God.
And Godzilla. And Godzilla. Stuff comes out of the water over there. I don't like it.
I'm the biggest Godzilla fanatic ever.
I love Godzilla. Um,
I still one of my coffee cups. Well, it's actually a coffee thermos mug. Ella had Godzilla. I got like a Godzilla shadow on it.
it's in Mexico.
It's in Mexico.
Hmm.
What part of Mexico?
In the channels of, can't say that, south of the center of Mexico City, Mexico.
Mexico City. I knew a guy from Mexico City.
But yeah,
But knowing my luck, I'd be like captured by the cartel and held for something I didn't do.
yeah, I can't pronounce the name of it. But yeah, I've kind of voted the Island of Dolls and Alcatraz. Those are, and Waverly was always definitely on my bucket
I've
list. It's
never
always
been there.
I have in your
I've never
face.
been. I've never.
It
And
is
people, I just had somebody
it's
message me
amazing.
the other day and asked me that.
It's amazing. It's
I'd love
amazing.
to see it. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to go.
Oh, I took my dad and we were looking because I've always wanted to go there since I was a kid and
I
I
was so
used to.
happy that the owners got control back of the place. I just
Yeah.
that was really cool. I was really glad to hear
I didn't know
about.
they lost. I didn't know they lost
I
it.
don't know the whole story, so I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know the whole story, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to say nothing I don't know. But some I don't know. There was a big legal battle going on, and but yeah, the owners actually now got the place back. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I honestly I never it was because you know me. I'm the type of person ain't nothing none of my damn business. I don't worry about it.
If it ain't your business, don't put your nose in it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I
Um,
don't. And you know how
yeah,
rumors start, anyways.
I
On
went there and I took my dad and we were looking up at this massive old hospital on this hill. I mean, it's like literally looking at the house on Haunted Hill.
okay,
And I'm like staring up at this thing, and my dad walks up from behind me. And my dad's a big guy.
right,
And, he's always been a believer like me, and he had stuff happen to him when he was a kid as well.
right.
And, he walked up and he was standing next to me and he's like, Bug. That's my nickname.
What is
He
it?
was like, well, everyone calls me Brookie, but my dad's side of the family, they call me Boog. Like a
Boog?
book, like a
Like
booger.
booger?
Like a booger.
Like a booger?
Like a booger. And he was like, Boog.
I'm gonna call you Snotty now. So
No, you're not really. Do you really want me to broadcast your name on here?
I don't give a shit. Hell, I'm almost 50 years old. I don't give a crap what anybody knows my damn name now.
So we're
I
standing
hated
on
it back in the day, but I don't give a shit now. So
So we're looking at the top of this hill, and my dad goes, Bug, I'm a little intimidated by this place. And I was like, I am too. I mean, it's massive. It's huge. It's huge. I mean, you see it on TV and you're like, oh yeah, I can hang, I can do that, and then you walk up to this place and it's like coming face to face with Godzilla. Like it's huge.
that would make my day.
Yes. So
Yeah, face to face with Godzilla, that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, it was pretty cool. So
Well, somebody asked me a long time ago if there's any place, location that I've been to or I would go to that would scare me, and the answer is no. There's not a place that's ever scared me, or
not yet.
no. Well, I mean, it just no. I mean, because I don't believe in that whole creep factor stuff. I don't buy into that. I just, well, that's just me though. I don't get into the whole creep factor, old house or whatever. I
Got
mean,
you a
hell,
shake there, do
do
you?
what?
Got you a
What?
shake there, do you?
Yeah, energy drinks in this. Got to stay awake somehow. But no, I've never, I don't know. I've never had that creep factor ever happen, you know, because I just don't buy into it. Never have.
Oh, bud. I can't wait for the day you get the shit scared out of you.
Have I already told you I've been married twice? Do we really need to talk about the shit scared out of me or whatever? I've got two ex-wives.
Shit, I ain't even been married, and that shit scares the hell out of me. So,
So let me tell you this: I got nerves of steel now. If you can survive that shit, yeah. So no, no, it don't scare me, and also, yeah. So yeah, no, don't happen.
no,
Nah, not me.
nah, nada.
Nope, don't happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Mm-mm.
So so I don't see a location scaring me or nothing like that. Or well, it's even being at the Hannah house. I was like, when everybody's scared of the basement, I've actually fell asleep down there before.
In the basement?
Yeah,
How the hell did you fall asleep down in the
you know that big
basement?
bench. You know that big bench down there.
You fell asleep down there.
I sure did. I have fell asleep down there.
Okay.
I got so that okay, that big bench that's against the wall, that back
No,
wall.
you fell asleep outside after drinking
No,
too much.
that was a different story. That's a different night. That was another time. And yes, that really did happen. So, but that was a cookout. We had a cookout there. That wasn't a.
I know, we need to do that again. That
We
sounds like a lot of
should.
fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you're gonna bring your smoker and you're gonna cook all your good smoking stuff.
I actually, believe it or not, I actually just get one to keep there.
I'll believe
That's
it
what
when I see it because you sit there and you talk shit about all your smoking stuff, and I'm
talk
like,
shit my ass. I don't talk shit. I just talk.
talking shit.
No, I don't talk shit. I just talk. That's all it is.
Okay.
But no, I was thinking about buying a smoker and keeping up here so I can cook for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good.
I think so. I don't see why not.
Do it.
It'd make Nana happy.
Pammy.
Yeah, no, I always call her Nana. Scott started that, so basically kind of I just went along with it. I love her. She's a good old gal.
My dog keeps trying to want attention. You wanna be on the show, Hanky?
What kind of dog is it?
Shih Tzu. Come here, Hank. He looks really bad right now because he needs a haircut. But he's grunting. There's Hanky.
Ah,
Say hi, Hanky. Oh.
I would go get my tortoise, but he's probably asleep.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Hank is cuter than your tortoise.
Probably.
Aren't you,
Mine's lazy.
Hank? Hank is actually pretty lazy. All he wants to do is lay around. He's my little old man. That's why he has the name Hank.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, okay, so our next tour is what? July 2nd?
Yes.
That's right, it is, because I got everything updated and all that, so. Tell you what we need to do. We need to get Kara on here.
She would be so fun to have on here.
We should do it. We should get Kara on here.
Yeah, because we would totally talk shit to you, and it'd be
Yes, I
funny.
know. That's why I think maybe it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, it'd be a fantastic idea.
No, I think it would be a horrible idea. It would be a good idea to bring her on, but the bad idea about you two talking shit to me. So
I don't know. We're two peas in a pod.
yeah, I know. That's what
She
I'm saying.
likes
I don't think it'd be a
she
great
like
idea.
she likes me and she flicks my boobs, so
Yeah, she's a good gal,
I love her. She's great.
right? But no, we need to find someone. Okay, since we got this one over with, got the podcast comeback. Now we need to pick somebody who wants to get interviewed. Because there's a bunch of people right now that said they want to come on here and get interviewed, but I just haven't got anybody scheduled yet.
Yeah. Well, I know Jason said he'd come back. Um,
Yes, I know. I already talked to him about it.
yeah, I know. He said he already talked to you about it.
Yeah.
And then I have I could probably get my buddy Josh or my friend Ashley because I started getting them into um, going on investigations with me and stuff, and they're new, and
Okay.
they've had experiences happen, so that'd be kind of cool to like maybe get them on here. Um,
Here's one thing, and I know we got to do, and she said she would do it. Um, because it kind of ties into the paranormal, and it ties into true crime.
yeah.
A friend of mine that I've known for a lot of years actually met her Baumeister, and he was the one that owned Fox Hollow Farms.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, Herb
Dude,
was
I
the
could talk
alleged
about that whole story
Herb was the
for
alleged
days.
serial killer. Okay. Now, I think I would love to have her on because, like I said, she met him in person. But it's kind of weird because how the story goes, he was never caught and he was never arrested. They never pinned nothing on him. And the thing about it is, I don't think it. it's weird because I got a feeling that if
What, the killer?
yeah, Herb, because they're saying I don't think if Herb did do it, I don't think he did it alone. I think he had somebody to help him.
Oh no, he did. He killed himself.
Yes,
That's
but
why
here's
he. That's why he didn't get
but you
arrested.
want to
Yeah,
hear the twist? You want to hear the
no,
twist on that? They never found a gun
yeah, I know because
when
someone
they
shot
found the
him.
body. When they found the body, they never found a gun.
Yeah, because someone shot him. Someone else
I
was involved.
think, yeah, I don't think he committed suicide. I think somebody offed him.
Absolutely, I
I
agree.
totally, I believe that wholeheartedly. I really do. I don't think he committed suicide.
Yeah.
And I think my theory, it's like I said, I'm not a detective and I'm not, it's just a theory I got. Like, I got a
Like
theory
it's
that,
so many that you do have.
exactly, I can go on and on. And, but I do believe that I think whoever was helping him, I think is the one that killed him.
Yeah.
Because here's another thing, though, like where they found the body or where they found the bones. Herb, if you look up how big Herb was not a big guy, and Herb was kind of a little guy. I just don't think that he drugged those bodies on his own. I really don't. I don't think he killed them.
Mm-mm.
I don't think he did it
They
solo.
were still finding body, like the new owners when they moved in, they were finding
Yeah,
more bones.
right.
Like as they were living there, they were still finding remains.
Yeah, it was
So
on the news not too long ago.
Lord only knows how many bodies were actually buried on that property.
Right.
And they still had the swimming pool.
Uh
Like
huh.
I would not want to swim in that swimming pool, dude. Like
Right.
no,
No, but
I
I
would
got
not.
a friend of mine that what she told me because me and her was we went out to dinner. We went out to dinner before a concert, and she brought it up that we were talking about Herb, and she goes, "I actually met him." And I'm like, "How the hell did you meet Herb Baumeister?" And she said that she had a friend, or I think a coworker, her like boss somewhere, knew Herb personally, and Herb would have dinner parties, and she would actually go like was invited to the dinner parties at the house.
Yeah.
And that's how she met Herb. And like she said, she was like, she goes, she never like, if I'm thinking right, like she said, she never really had like big conversations with him. She just like met him and like acquaintance and stuff like that. So I would kind of like to have her on to talk about it or talk about what was like what was her maybe her opinion, and also maybe bring somebody else on that has ties to the paranormal part of it, and do they think it's really haunted or not?
Yeah.
Because like on how most places will take a location and kind of like, okay, well, these
You
murders
know,
happen. There's
it may not be haunted. Like if it's not haunted, it's definitely cursed because of that many people dying on that land, like it's fucked up, dude. Like for
yeah.
real. Like
So
that's
that's what
just
I'm saying. I mean, I would love to have somebody
it,
on.
those people, dude. He was sick, but man, was it not a fascinating true crime story to dig
It is.
into?
I mean, still this very day, it is. I mean, and
It
I
really is.
still,
Man, and we're sitting here talking about this shit, and I'm hearing like all kinds of stuff cracking around my deck. Like that ain't cool, man.
yeah, we're gonna get off here. Yeah, we're gonna log
Seriously,
off
I'm like,
then.
man, cool.
Then somebody's gonna have a machete to you and all that shit, and then Bud's gonna go off to bed, know nothing about it.
Something.
Yeah, I'll be in dreamland and you're getting hacked up.
I'll text you in the morning and let you know if I'm still alive or not.
There you go.
If you don't get a, if you don't get a text, my life is not too promising. Like,
Well, whoever it is, like, trust me, is like I'd hate to be the one trying to piss you off because if you get the knife from them, then I'm gonna feel sorry for their ass.
Yeah, I've seen one too many scary movies, man.
Right?
One too many. I have a really big trunk to my car too. Like,
Do what? Oh, you got a
I have
big.
I have a really big trunk too.
There you go. That'll work.
Lots of holes in Indiana. I'm sure I can find a place to land.
Hog farms too. There's a lot of hog farms in Indiana too. So that's what I'm saying. There's more. That's what I'm saying. Like there's, you know, some serial killers
You
are
know.
sloppy. They're just
I know,
sloppy.
man. And I tell my mom that all the time. I'm like, as much true crime shows as I've watched with you, and I I dug into this podcast a while ago, Crime Junkie. I'm sure you've heard of
I think
them.
my niece showed me that one.
Oh my gosh, love them. They're awesome. I would
Who's
love to
the
get
Who's
on
the
our
girl
podcast.
that? Excuse me. Who's the
Actually,
girl that's got the YouTube channel and she talks about like serial killers and true crime while she's putting on her makeup?
Bailey Sarian.
Bailey
I
Sarian, that's
love
it.
her. Oh my god, I would love to get her on our podcast. That'd be awesome.
Okay, well that's going to be your job then.
That's gonna be her job.
No, your job. Your job is to get her
My
on the podcast.
job.
Yes.
I don't know if she'll do it.
Why not?
I'll try.
How
I'll
do you know?
try. I don't know. I tried getting.
Shoot an email.
Well, I shot an email to Oh Boy, and he never got back to
Who?
me. I would love that. Okay, so that artist that I told you, and
Oh,
it was called what's inside your head or feed your
oh,
head.
right, right.
Um, Sean Koss,
Okay.
and he does a whole lot of like um art on mental disorders and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
You know,
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean,
I really got into his art. My best friend Josh actually got me his book, and
okay.
it has all of his artwork, and it has like every single mental disorder or
Right.
mental disease, and it's basically how you feel. So like I have type 2 bipolar,
Uh huh.
and they used to say I had borderline personality bipolar.
Okay.
You can't really have both. So when they try to put both together, it's usually a type of bipolar. Well, there's type 1 and type 2. I have type
Right.
2. So, like, I'm on a mood stabilizer and stuff like that. And, it really helps. And
Right.
I have really high highs and really high lows. I have my manic episodes. Not where I'm like screaming at anybody or anything like that. Like, it's not necessarily like that, but it's really tough and it's really hard to deal with. And like
Right.
one of the pictures that he has for bipolar, it looks like this like creature, and it's getting pulled one way and pulled the other, and it's just like one creature's pulling it
Right.
and it's crazy, and the other one's like melted on the ground, and then it's like this one in between, and it's
Right.
just this constant battle of back and forth, and it is the creepiest picture, but it deciphers exactly how someone with bipolar feels. And
Right.
then he also has someone with autism. He has, he talks about the disorders and like in descriptive paragraphs, and like why he chose, these, disorders and everything. Like it meant a lot to get that book from my friend.
Right.
And, Josh was like, I just know you're really into this, and, I don't want you to think you're crazy. Like, everybody has their own shit, so
Right.
to be able to get that and to read about my disorder and then to read about other people's disorders and
Right. I mean, it's
have,
pretty big.
I mean, it's really something it's really something hard that I battle with
Mm-hmm.
every day. So to be able to have something like that and know that, people are spreading awareness to, mental
Yeah.
disorders and
Most
diseases.
definitely. I mean, because I
That's
battle. Yeah, because I battled anxiety and stuff like that. So.
Oh, and anxiety is the absolute worst. Like, I
It
mean,
is.
I've had panic attacks that have literally came out of nowhere. Like, I came home from school one day, and my boyfriend at the time, Bo, I was sitting there and I was just talking to him, and we were sitting there watching Seinfeld, like literally doing nothing, like
Right.
nothing that would trigger me to have anxiety.
Uh huh.
And I don't know if it was just from like being overwhelmed from like having so much stuff going on that week, and then I finally sat down and it just kind of like built up, but I had to go outside. I couldn't breathe. It felt like I was literally having a heart attack.
Right.
I almost thought I had to go to the hospital. And I have went to the hospital a couple times for panic attacks because I really thought
Right.
I was having a heart attack. So like being on this mood stabilizer and everything like that, and starting therapy and realizing, like it's okay to get help.
Right.
That's why I reached out to that guy because, yeah, his art is cool as shit.
Uh huh.
It's fucking wicked. Like it's really cool.
Right.
But the way he expresses every single disorder in detail, like not even just a definition from it, but just like explaining like how he feels about it and how it's affected like certain things in his life and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I I really appreciate that about his work. So like that's why I emailed him and I was like, dude, like your art really speaks to me. I'm sure you hear that a lot, and I told him about our podcast and I was like, I would really love for you to be on the show. Hasn't read it yet, so I'm not left on red. So that's good,
Right.
but it hasn't been opened yet, so maybe he will open it and maybe we can get him on the show because I think that'd be really good for something like that. I know this is
Most
paranormal.
definitely. Yeah.
We talk about like different things, like we've talked about paranormal, we've talked about UFOs, we've talked about true crime,
Right.
but to bring somebody like that on the show,
Yeah.
like
Why not?
that, like because his artwork is super wicked and crazy looking. But I'm
Right.
telling you what, to like spread awareness like that, even like on any outlet, like especially our podcast, I would love to do something like that.
Most
But
definitely. I mean, you can still like we can like put links and add links in the descriptions, and stuff like that. You know.
right.
I mean, I'm all for stuff like that. I really
Oh
am.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and that's one reason like I wanted to get on the podcast is because like I knew that it you have told me, it's not just about the paranormal,
Right.
it's different outlooks on everything,
Sure.
and I'm like, okay, cool, because I have a pretty open mind and I would love to be a
Well,
part
see,
of
it's
it.
like even like if you go through all the episodes. I mean, I got UFO people on here,
Yeah.
and which I would love to get the guy back on, but a good friend of mine named Tim Shaw.
Mhm.
Like even though I'm a skeptic, hearing his stories is actually just, and he's an amazing guy to talk to, amazing guy to even just sit and shoot the shit with. Um, but he's got a collection of like haunted objects and stuff like that. But I mean, having him on is, man, if I'm thinking right, he was my second episode, my second podcast, and man, he really put a lot of confidence in me. After talking to him and after doing that podcast,
Yeah.
and he just at the very end, and just said, "Man, just keep doing what you're doing. Just have fun. Have fun with this." And
That's
he's an
what we're gonna
amazing,
do. We're gonna have
yeah,
fun.
exactly. I mean, this is, and it's like I said, even though I have my opinions on different things, I got my opinions on whatever. No matter what, at the end of the day, no matter what, this is just this is just entertainment. Just
It's just your opinion. Everybody's
bingo.
entitled to their own opinion.
And I mean,
Like for me,
it
I
might
have not been.
ruffle somebody's feathers, or it might make somebody go, "Hmm, he's kind of got a
You've
point."
seen you've seen me when you've expressed your opinion, like when you want to
Yeah,
argue with me. I just laugh because I'm like, well, that's your
but I don't
opinion.
do it. But have you noticed I don't do it in anger?
No,
Like I don't
no,
get pissed off over it. Like I don't get.
no. I don't. Well, you're not an angry person.
No.
So,
Well, I've calmed down in my old age. So it's like, but no, I mean, like when I have discussions with people or whatever, I don't get angry about it. I mean, I could disagree with somebody, and I don't.
right.
Okay, somebody thinks different than I do. So what? It's okay. I mean, we'd live in a boring, and this is what I tell people: we'd live in a boring ass world if everybody thought the same way.
Yeah, we would.
I mean, honestly, we really would. We'd live in a boring damn world.
This is definitely not a boring world, though. There's a
No,
lot of stuff to
you see,
talk
that's why, like even having this podcast and talking about what I don't, whether you want to talk about UFOs or whatever, or ghost or even though I'm a skeptic, which I'm a dead believer in UFOs, though. When it comes to all that, I am a dead. I've seen it.
Oh, I
I've
believe in.
witnessed it.
Yeah, I've seen a UFO.
We'll save that for a different podcast, though. But
I
no,
was about to
honestly, we'll
say,
save that. We'll save that some other time.
I could talk all night, but I also have to get up at 5:30
Yeah,
in the morning. So
holy shit. Yeah, it's getting late for you then.
yeah, so
Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and end the podcast. And this was really awesome. And I just want to say personally, I'm glad you're on board with this, and I think it's going to be a great dynamic. I really do. I
yeah,
wholeheartedly believe that, and I mean, even like doing tours at the Hannah Mansion, I think we just have a great time doing it,
absolutely,
and
I
it's a lot of
agree.
fun, and I enjoy it. Okay, so let's go ahead and end the podcast. You go get some sleep. You get some rest, and then we'll go ahead and schedule. We'll get somebody scheduled on the next one, and we'll go ahead and get somebody scheduled and bring them in,
All right,
and let's keep this train rolling.
yep, sounds good to me, dude.
All right,
I'm
all
down
right.
my four
Well,
tires.
there you go. Okay, well, I'll see you later.
All right, later.
All right, later.